Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is September the 16th, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. We'll get to some of the caveat, but overall good. We got that lasagna today. We at least attempted, got a piece. Today was pretty Garfield. Hopefully yours was fully Garfield. Hopefully you got all the lasagna. No leftovers, no crumbs. Let's see here. Work was good. It was fine. Busy, definitely busy. Got some fully alone time today though. That was kind of nice. No one came through and assisted, which it was nice to have a classic day. But I'll get to the problem, which maybe you can already tell by the sound of my voice, is that I'm still sick. So it seems like I have a cold. It wasn't the allergies. Definitely kind of realized that as I was trying to sleep, and I just couldn't. I tried to even go to bed early, and woke up, and I just couldn't really go back. It's just gross. I did the thing where you're trying to lay down on one side to let the snot drain to the other side. I was like, oh yeah, this is so fun. I always miss this. But it seems to be not as bad. It's kind of like a classic light cold. So nights are rough. It's getting rough now. Mornings are rough, but as I get to the afternoon, I'm usually good. But today I had this almost internal freak out because I just drank too much liquid. I guess maybe too fast because I was trying to stay hydrated. I'm really bad at that, so I was just trying to keep on it. And I don't know if it's because I had a Powerade and then just too much water and then an energy drink, and it just sent everything over the edge. But I was just so uncomfortable and didn't feel well, and it took me a little bit to kind of recalibrate again, but we got through the day. It was fine. We even got to do the gym, though I will say it wasn't my best workout. I was kind of bummed about that, but yeah, we move. I'm here, I'm hanging in. I'm hey, cold be damned, I'm gonna podcast. I got a yap, so here we are. Food Corner was good, despite me being ill. I'm not eating no soups right now. I'm not in the mood. It definitely wasn't last night because I had a meal plan. I had a meal planned in my head. You know what I mean? So I decided to make a fish sandwich with capers, and it was very yummy. It was exactly how I drummed it up. I will say I just used some fish patties that I got from the store. Wasn't trying to bread that shit up myself. I wasn't in the mood. But I got to dress it up how I liked, which was really nice. Then for the sides, because y'all know I got some sides, I had some popcorn chicken, some fries, and then a random egg roll because I could, just because I could. And yeah, it was good. It was yummy. I enjoyed it. Let's see here. Is there really anything else to talk about in the blog portion? No, I think we're good. Like I said, I really just tried to sleep pretty much after I wrapped everything up. And like I said, I'm still in it, still thick in the mucus. But hopefully, as the week progresses, I feel better, sound better. But thanks for bearing with me. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup, which I'm gonna do it, and we'll get into some news. All right. First story comes from Yahoo News. He did not fire or get off any shots. Suspect charged appears in court as officials offer more details on Trump assassination attempt. And I know you're thinking, wait, is this an update? No, this is a new one. I'm sure, my real newsies probably already are hip to this shit because it's been in the news, since Sunday night. But, yeah. Let's see, let's go ahead and just get into it. The FBI is investigating an apparent assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump after a man armed with an AK-style rifle was spotted near Trump's golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida on Sunday. The suspect, identified as Ryan Wesley Routh, 58, was taken into custody in nearby Martin County after fleeing the scene. He made his first appearance in federal court Monday morning and was, charged with federal gun crimes, including possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. Additional charges are likely. Now, a little bit of extra stuff that I've kind of learned just listening today. Apparently, Routh was a really pro-Ukraine guy. It's also pretty out there that maybe he has like some mental health stuff, but like, you know, that's not maybe super concrete. But I mean, here we are. I mean, this dude wound up in the shrubbery on Trump's golf course trying to, you know, potentially get him. But before this, like I said, he was a very pro-Ukrainian guy. And he even like volunteered for Ukraine, like to fight in Ukraine. He like went out of his way to do it. And, you know, so there's some decent amount of footage of this guy. So people are kind of making that connection that it's like, oh, well, this is maybe the motivating reason for him wanting to do this is because, you know, Trump has more or less said that like, hey, if I get in office, I'm going to wrap that shit up real fucking quick. You know what I mean? We're going to get a little, you know, agreement together and everything's going to be fine. It's going to be the perfect deal. Essentially, you know, he's going to be ushering in Ukraine's surrender. So maybe something like, you know, that's something that Routh maybe really, really doesn't want. So that's how he winds up in the shrubbery with an AK and a scope. He also has some other shit that was like found on me, like a GoPro. I think he had like ceramic plates for like body armor, but that was like in a pack or something. And like pretty much Trump, who was golfing with a friend and longtime advisor, Steve Witkoff, they were on the fifth hole. And the way that Secret Service kind of works in this situation is they go up ahead and scout the next hole while he's on that hole, like the previous hole. So they got a guy on the scene. He spots a rifle in the shrubs, immediately engages, and they start firing on Routh. They do say that Routh does not put out any shots. He doesn't fire. He just like immediately flees. But he is able to get away. He's able to get away in his black Nissan, flees the fucking scene. Now, someone sees this, gets a picture of it, says, hey, I also, you know, I got the plate in there too. So they're able to use this information and find him. And that's why he was like arrested very quickly. And, you know, now he's being charged. So, I mean, crazy that within 9 weeks, one president, one guy has 2 attempts. They really don't fuck with him, man. They don't fuck with his vibe, you know? And it's crazy because, like, once again, I know I keep referencing back to the past, but I think this was the energy that you kind of expected in 2016, the way Trump was talking. And I guess now I'm just so used to it that it's just, like, so route and routine. But I guess some people are just going up and over the edge. I mean, granted, the other guy, what was it, Cooks, whatever, he was probably just doing this for notoriety's sake or what have you. I think he would have shot Biden or Trump or whoever he could in that situation that was high enough, you know, to kind of maybe prove his point that he could do it. I don't fucking know. But with this guy, it definitely seems pointed that, like, no, he wanted to shoot Trump. Now, you know, there's been, you know, a row about, like, well, why doesn't he have more, like, security? Like, well, he's like, well, he already got more security. Like, we're already pushing the limits of what a person who is not a president, he's a former president, is getting for security. Also, it's worth noting that Trump does not want to be compliant with the security detail that he is asking for more of. At the end of the day, he wants to be casual, be loose. And it's like, brother, you're who you are. You're fucking Trump. And this is an election year. Like, brother, you gotta move a little bit different. It's just the way it is. But like, not all Teflon Donnie. So he's gonna keep moving like he moves, and you know, the Secret Service is just gonna have to work around it. And like, it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like this is overall a success. They stopped it. No one put a fucking shot on this dude. But Routh was able to get into the bushes, sit there for like 12 hours, which is crazy. That's crazy. But because of like the public-esque nature of this golf course, like, he was able to slip through the cracks and get to that point. Like, let's say that Secret Service doesn't see that butt. Like, with the scope, with the AK, he could have made that shot. That's definitely a potential thing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, damn. I mean, it's September. We still got several weeks to go before the the election actually happens. I mean, man, It's crazy. Obviously, not advocating this shit. This is very dumb. This is very bad behavior. This dude is gonna get buried under the fucking jail. Like, don't do this. Don't be this guy. You're not doing anything here. This dude thought maybe he was saving Ukraine or some shit. Nah, bro. It doesn't matter who's in there. Ukraine's probably fucked. But we'll save that for another episode. One more thing on this subject before I wanted to move on. Elon Musk, of course, had to chirp on his fucking favorite app, his app, X, the everything app. Little quick aside here from NBC News. Elon Musk deletes X post about no one attempting to assassinate Biden or Harris. Just a crazy ass fucking thing to just like pop off as like a joke. But apparently it came under enough scrutiny for him to be like, okay, I was joking, sorry, and he deleted it. So, not really anything worth reporting, but it's just crazy that someone would like say, yeah, someone should try to assassinate, Kamala or Biden. Like, what? Dude. Okay. I get it. You are in Trump's corner. We all get it. But it's like, you taking it that far is very crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's not a surprise to see someone like Elon Musk say that shit. So, whatever. Let's move on to some other news, though. Let it load up. From CNN. A pipeline fire has burned for hours and prompted evacuations in a Houston suburb. Homes and businesses in a Houston suburb have been evacuated while a large pipeline fire that started Monday morning continues to burning itself out. A 20-inch pipeline caught fire just before 10 a.m. Monday in LaPorte, Texas, which is about 25 miles southeast of Houston, sending a plume of flames into the air and prompting street closures and the evacuation of nearby homes, authorities in LaPorte and nearby Deer Park said. The pipeline carrying liquid natural gas is owned by Energy Transfer, and authorities have not determined what caused the fire. Deer Park Major Jerry Mountain told reporters on Monday. So, yeah, that's the thing that's going off, that's popping off. We don't have any, answers or anything like that as of recording. But, I'll definitely keep you posted on this. Not every day that you see a flaming plume of fire in, a random-ass suburb. All these pictures are very, captivating. It's like, whoa, crazy. But yeah, I'll definitely keep you posted on any more I hear out of this. The rest is just kind of quotables. I will say no one really got hurt, no major casualties. It is worth noting that one firefighter was treated for minor injuries. So there's that. But glad to see that no one's really been fucked up about this. I haven't heard of really major property damage. So that's good. Hopefully this is literally a blip on the radar. Just a hot one. All right. Let's take off. Let's go to space. From NPR. 4 astronauts on Polaris Dawn flight returned to Earth after first commercial spacewalk. A daring space mission to space ended successfully for its 4 astronauts with a pre-dawn Sunday splashdown near the Dry Tortugas off the Florida coast. The 5-day trip, funded by billionaire internet entrepreneur Jarek Isaacman, in which he served as the mission commander, broke several records, including the first ever commercial spacewalk using SpaceX's Crew Dragon capsule. Let's see. Isaac, along with fellow astronaut Sarah Gillis, took turns spending about 20 minutes each outside the capsule, taking in the view and testing new spacesuits on Thursday. So, I mean, it turns out that was pretty much the extent of what they did on the spacewalk, what I told you. I wasn't sure if they were going to do any more. I'm not going to lie. I kind of was hoping that they would actually maybe go a little bit further out or something. But I get it. You don't want to have a galaxy, IRL event and you lose a person in space or some shit. Or, these spacesuits actually maybe don't perform as well. The fact of the matter is you went out there, you got half your body out, you did a little hokey pokey, a little elbow action, a little shoulder action. And, you got back in there. You got to see a really cool, view of, space itself. I guess you could say even the fucking universe. I don't know, at least the galaxy. Galaxy, right? Yeah. Whatever. That's cool. That's fucking dope. And not to mention, they made it back safely. At the end of the day, this was a very textbook run for SpaceX. This is their 14th fucking time sending humans up to orbit. Essentially, they've established that it's hey, we are a solid space-faring like company. We have the credentials. We can do freight, we can do people, we can make it happen for you if that's what you want to go. You know, you need to go to the space station. Shit, in this situation, they went beyond the space station. That's another thing that's kind of crazy to me and why I kind of was thinking maybe they'd do a little bit more. They went through a radiation belt, and to me, that is very scary and intense. And like to do that, to just be like a little I'm doing a little like robot right now with my arms, like that's not enough. Like I would want to maybe do a little bit more. Maybe this is just me being ambitious from an armchair. I totally get it, but like obviously very cool all the same. I'm glad they landed back home all the same. There was no catastrophes or kerfuffles, so that's good. That's gonna lead us into our last story for the day. A little bit of a grim update, a bit of a reminder of the hubris of these kind of endeavors when you go out into, you know, the wild yonder, you know, whether it be space or the wild blue underwater, the seas. You know, what can happen? What can go wrong? Especially when you take this hubris to the maximum with this story, which, like I said, you'll be familiar. You know, you'll hear it and be like, oh yeah. And I've been referencing it even in regards to the Polaris Dawn situation. You know what I mean? But, you know, enough setup. Let me go ahead and do my last break, and we'll close it out. Everyone keeps talking about Chimp Crazy. I have an ad right now. Not sponsored. But from what I've heard, it's like Tiger King, but with monkeys. And shit, they even say, from the humans who brought you Tiger King. Apparently, it's a good watch. Anyway, I'm sorry. Oh, gosh. From CNN, Titan submersible sent its final message 6 seconds before contact was lost, investigators say at U.S. Coast Guard hearing. The Titan submersible sent its final message just 6 seconds before it lost contact with the surface during its ill-fated dive to the Titanic, according to a U.S. Coast Guard body probing the vessel's implosion in June of 2023, which killed all 5 people on board. Drop 2, it's WTS, which is weights. The Titan's text to its mothership read, referring to weights the submersible could shed in hopes to returning to the surface. A lawsuit by the family, one of the victims, has claimed the message, sent about 90 minutes into the vessel's dive, was an indication the crew might have known something was wrong and were trying to abort the mission. Now, I want to juxtapose this with something they said about 1,000, leagues or whatever, some odd depths below the sea. They had meters. That's the measurement I was looking for. Okay, sorry. I'm grabbing this from ABC News. One of the last messages sent from the doomed Titan submersible during its June 2023 voyage to the Titanic wreckage was all good here. So I think that's kind of the dueling contention here from the other side, from, you know, the owners, or well, the remaining owners, people involved from Titan, is that like, oh no, things were okay, things were fine, and then this is just a tragic accident, which is like, no the fuck it's not. We've talked about this shit before. Like, these motherfuckers, and once again, when I'm talking about hubris, they defied the logic of what it was to build a submarine, and they thought that was a good idea. It's like, no, dude, you should not have this thing that is like made out of carbon fiber. It's supposed to be made out of stronger material to go to the depths that it's going to withstand the pressures that it's going to withstand. You need something stronger than this. And the guy's like, nah, we're good. We're fine. Like, the CEO's like, we got this. Like, this is the stable thing. It's seaworthy. It's fine. And then they go out and they do this fucking thing, and they got, you know, a whole crew, a guy, like a rich guy and his son, you know. And meanwhile, the guy piloting it is using a fucking, like, Mad Catz Xbox controller. Like, this was not a kosher-ass fucking project. And it's crazy that it went on for as long as it did. And then it happened. And now it's like, yeah, no, everything was cool. Everything was on the level. This was just all an unfortunate accident. It's like, no, dude. The unfortunate accident was that y'all had so much money to burn that y'all wound up doing this shit and thinking that this was just a good idea, great idea. Like, and this goes into say, like, I really don't really want to focus too much on the trial, or not trial, like the investigation or whatever. If there's any big, findings or revelations, then I'll be back to talk about them. But, there were people who were like coming out and being like, yeah, I worked on this project, and I would adamantly talk, to the CEO, to the people, and be like, this isn't working. This isn't a good idea. Like, we need to do this, we need to do that to make this like a way safer, seafarable vessel. And they're like, nah, this is fine. This actually works. This works better the way that we have it. The carbon fiber we have makes it like sleek and cool. It's like, dog, like this shit is cracking. Like, no, dude, this shit is fragile and you're going to send it back out. Don't do this. So, I mean, they did. And this was the end result, And that's why I keep making this reference, because I get scared. I'm not scared, because I think it's just, I get scared because it's like, man, I don't want to, come back to you guys because I know how I'm going to act. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just conflicting and it's sad. But, like, I know how I handle these things. I also know how other people do, too. When you see this shit, it just becomes a meme. You know what I mean? Like there's some kind of, like, you even hear this shit and it's so cringe. But, like, it's like they were a sacrifice. It's like, dude, ick. But, like, you just don't want to see this cycle repeated, because it isn't just dessert. It's like, oh, you get the, like, the satisfaction of, like, oh, billionaire died. But, like, in this situation, like, the dude's kid died. And I remember, like, looking into this shit and hearing, like, yeah, like, the kid, like, was definitely not really wanting to go. But, like, his dad really wanted him to go. Like, some father-son shit. Like, you don't get to choose who you're born with at the end of the day, right? And I guess that's the luck of the draw, for better or fucking worse, right? You get to have a cool-ass life, but then sometimes, you're going to take the last fucking dive of your life in a fucking not even tin can. So, I don't know, dude. I really didn't want to get too in the weeds about this shit. It really is just like, once again, a grim update in a really dead story, technically. But, I do hope that the people get answers. Maybe that's something in the closure. And I hope that people can get their money. Fuck it, man. Like, if anything, the people who made this shit should be fucking ponying up more money. I mean, they're not really a thing anymore. I'm pretty sure this shit went bust after the thing crumpled up. But that's where I'll leave it. Like I said, if there's any big updates on it, I'll mention it. But if this glides by, then it glides by. You know what? Closing out, random back to blog mode. What did I do today that also kind of made the day kind of cool? I randomly did a lore dive into Warhammer. I'm not playing the game, but I will say I watched a bit of it, as I tend to do. It looks really cool, and this is a new Warhammer that came out, like Warhammer 2 or whatever the fuck it is. But I've had friends in my life that, like, play Warhammer, that they paint the figurines and stuff like that. So it was just like, you know what? Like, this is really cool. And I like kind of like was like silently appreciating it, and then like it just fell into my timeline and my Spotify. And I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll listen to a little lore dump here. I wish I had the name of the podcast. If you're interested, I will let you know if you want to hit me up. But it's just super cool. It's just like two guys just literally doing like as much of a chronological lore dump of Warhammer 40K. And I'm like in the Horus's Heresy, if you know, you know. And I'm like, you know what? This shit is fucking cool. I do like learning about this fucking shit. So that's something I wanted to add. That was like, once again, even though I have a cold and I feel like dog shit, it was nice to just like binge like a podcast, because that's really what got me here. You know what I mean? Is I just love podcasting so much that I wanted to be one, and I have the ability to do that, so I do. So I appreciate all of you who make this a reality for me by listening and tuning in. It's like I'm magic. I don't really exist unless you believe. You know what I mean? And I'm not quoting Warhammer there. I just feel like that's how that works, right? So, you tuning in, you just thinking about this thing, I love that. I really just appreciate you so much. The good vibrations I really carry. But if you'd like to help out, support financially, I do have Patreon, patreon.com/AzanNews. Become a newsie today. You do get a shout out at the top of the month. At least that's for the paying newsies, for the price of whatever it is. It's like $5, something like that, around that, give or take some tax. You become a newsie. Like I said, shout you at the top of the month. There's some old episodes that I have. Every once in a while I'll do a bonus episode, but it's not really for that. It's just a tip jar. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real with you. Keep it a stack. It's just that. But yeah, if you don't want to support that way, that's okay. You can also just follow. That's something I don't mention often, but you can just hit that. I like seeing the number go up. I have a couple friends that just do that. I'm like, yeah, I love that. Let's see here. Freeways, hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials, or just hit me up there. I don't mention this, but I also have a Discord, so that's another way to communicate. No nefarious stuff. Okay. All right. It's good. No Telegram. I don't do Telegram. It's crazy. I hear so many stories nowadays about Telegram, or I'm just realizing so many stories like Telegram was involved. And it's like, damn, maybe they should do something about that. No, I don't know. But yeah, I'm available. You just find me. And let's see here. That's about it. YouTube, YouTube. Thank you, new subscribers. That's also the super dopest way. We got a couple new subscribers. I don't rattle y'all off by name, but just know I see you. I love you. I really appreciate you. Thanks for listening. If you're listening on the YouTube right now, hit that like button. Leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. If you're listening on Spotify or whatever, leave some stars, all the stars preferred. You can comment on that too. Also share. So, those are options. You can do that. But yeah, that's it. That's the episode. Hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.